Hey guys, it's Simon. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, the 21st of October, 2020, and we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite and NXT on the USA Network. Now, both shows had their ups and had their downs. Both shows had some good things, and both shows had some bad things. Trust me, we'll get into all of that. But before we do, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Remember, here on Twitch, you can support us a couple of different ways, either with some bits or with a subscription. Remember, you can subscribe two different ways, either with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, not only do you sometimes get free games, perks for games you may already play, but you also get one free subscription to any Twitch streamer that you want to support throughout the month, and we would greatly appreciate it if you use that one subscription on us here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, all the money we do make here from Twitch, either from subscriptions, bits, donations, will be going into a fund to help people and families that have been, I guess you could say, impacted by the Creek Fire here in Central California. We want to help out families with anything they need. I know people personally that I grew up with that have had to leave their homes because of the fire. One family, like I've stated, that I do know lost their home. Another family just can't go back to their home yet and are living with relatives. So it's hard times for a lot of people, especially as we're going in to the holiday season. We've got Thanksgiving next month. We've got Christmas in 2 months. And some of these families just need anything to get them by for the remainder of however long they're going to be displaced, as the fire isn't even 50% contained. And a lot of these families that I know cannot go home right now. So with that, anything we do make here on Twitch does go back to help those families in need, so I could buy them some supplies and bring them what they are asking for. But with that, we are here tonight to talk about AEW Dynamite, NXT. So let's kick it off with a little bit of AEW, as the show kicked off quickly. And the first thing we did see was the first match of the World Title Eliminator Tournament. And that was Wardlow versus Jungle Boy. And this match was fun for the most part, but then at the same time, it was like, damn, Jungle Boy kind of just got his ass beat. So Jungle Boy got some shine early on with a series of kicks and drop kicks. Wardlow cut him off with an attempted Rana off the apron and failed. Wardlow worked Jungle Boy over, but Jungle Boy made a comeback with a backstabber. Tope Suicida, the top rope Rana, I read that way wrong. Top rope Rana and a double knee drop off the top for a near fall. Wardlow then cut Jungle Boy off again. Hit him with a massive F10 2 times. Once from the ramp into the ring, another one in the ring, and then pinned him to advance to the second round of the tournament. I still don't get why they call it the F10. Are they trying to say he's twice as good as Brock Lesnar? I don't know. But Wardlow does advance, and he will be taking on, as we learned, he will be taking on the winner of the Colt Cabana Hangman Page match. We learn later who that's going to be. After the announcers previewed the rest of tonight's show, they aired the promo that Eddie Kingston cut on Jon Moxley after last week's Dynamite went off the air. We did have a video of that from a fan that was there live on the PWUnlimited YouTube channel a couple of days ago, actually, that we were able and gratefully able to put up for all of you guys that weren't able to see it. But we did see the promo here tonight. Basically Eddie Kingston said, you got the opportunity to go up there and play sports entertainer. You left me behind. You found your pretty wife, and now you're doing what you can to provide for her, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, all I have and all I ever had is pro wrestling. And I stuck with pro wrestling. He's like, now you're the champion, but I'm going to make you quit. I'm going to make you quit pro wrestling, Moxley. And that leads us to the announcement that at Full Gear, Jon Moxley will defend the AEW World Championship in an I Quit match against Eddie Kingston. Now, with the comments from Eddie Kingston last week saying, I'm going to make you quit, I mean, it was obvious this was going to be an I Quit match, but they stated that this wasn't just Tony Khan making the match, but that Moxley went and asked for this match specifically. Next up, we got another World Title Eliminator Tournament first round match. This one was Kenny Omega versus Sonny Kiss, and you may think to yourself, huh? Sonny Kiss? Thought it was supposed to be Joey Janella. Well, it was supposed to be Joey Janela till this morning when Joey Janela was pulled from the show. Well, actually, early afternoon when Joey Janela was pulled from the show after finding out that the man that he fought less than 5 days ago tested positive for COVID, AJ Gray, at the GCW event in Southern California. So to be safe, they pulled Joey Janela. We don't know if Joey has tested positive for COVID-19, but we assume he got a negative test and that this is just for contact tracing. Because you can test negative 5 days, for at least 5 days, with, COVID in your system. And you could spread it even though you're negative. So Sonny Kiss comes out to the ring. They say this is the biggest match in Sonny Kiss's career. And then we get this intro from Justin Roberts where he just says every little thing that Kenny Omega has accomplished. He says that he's the only man to break Dave Meltzer's 5-star record deal. He's done it twice. He's got the highest rated singles and tag team match ever. He was Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Wrestler of the Year. He was Sports Illustrated's Wrestler of the Year. He wrestled one time in North Carolina. And then we see these women come out on the stage in bikinis with brooms, just sweeping. All of a sudden, on the other side of the entrance ramp, we see a silhouette of Omega and a weird patterned little sheet in front of him. And he stands there for a while. And my first thought was, he better have the glasses and the leather jacket. They pull the sheet down, and he doesn't have the glasses or the leather jacket. Gets a lot of pyro, comes down to the ring, and, just destroys Sonny Kiss in less than 15 seconds from bell to bell. It might have been less than 10 seconds bell to bell. Runs in, V-trigger, one winged angel, bing, 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 3, 2, 1, winner, Kenny Omega. Here's my question. And this isn't a sly remark or a diss on Sonny Kiss. Was this always the plan for the Omega match, even if he was taking on Joey Janela? That's my question. We've seen Joey Janela take Kenny Omega to the limit before. So that's why I was thinking, we know that Joey can go toe-to-toe with Kenny. And could he really squash Joey that way? I don't know. And again, this is not a knock on Sonny Kiss saying Sonny Kiss is so bad that I would believe this, but I don't know. I don't know if this would have been what's the word I'm looking for? Same match and layout if it was Joey Janela. Most likely, possibly, but who would have known? We don't know. Only they will know. Well, this is the match that we got. Literally, like I said, 10 to 15 seconds, if that. V-trigger, one winged angel, bada bing, bada boom. Kenny Omega advances. He will face the winner of Pentagon versus Phoenix. Tony Schiavone interviewed Orange Cassidy about his upcoming TNT title match against Cody. Cassidy spoofed Bill Belichick and downplayed his loss to Brody Lee in his last TNT title shot. No. In his second to last TNT title shot. Then we get Cody and Arn Anderson as they arrive at the building. Cody thinks he's Triple H more and more every week and wants to tell us, hey, I'm rich. Arn gets out of the limo. Cody gets out of the limo. Tasha, what's going on? How are you doing? Cody's got to go to the trunk of the limo first and pull out his Louis Vuitton backpack because he's got to tell us he's got money and that he's better than us. Cody said that he heard there may be a stipulation added to his TNT title defense next week against Orange Cassidy. Give me 1 second, guys. Can't read my screen without my glasses on. And if my glasses are all smudged up, well, I can't really read it that well anyways. There we go. Oh, so much better. Sasha then asked Cody about his weight gain during the 5 weeks he was off. Gained about 15 pounds. Cody said, yeah, I feel like that it was time for me to bump up to the actual heavyweight division. He said, this is a company of light heavyweights, and it's time for me to step it up. And then he goes, I don't want to give Justin Roberts another accolade or nickname he can call me, but I mean, I'm the giant killer of AEW. That if you look at my opponents, Basically what I am. It's time to go into heavyweight mode. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but Cody came off as a damn heel in here. Comes out the limo. Gotta have the fancy rich person bag to show us he's got money. And then he's the giant killer. And he's got to do the whole, I don't want to give Justin Roberts another nickname he can call me. Like, he was stroking his ego tonight, in my opinion. Cody was stroking that ego, patting himself on the back, ladies and gentlemen. I got heel vibes here. I really, really did. Cody Kingston cut a promo on Moxley. He said he hates what he's become, but he had to become a snake. He said being a nice guy got him nowhere, but his current attitude has gotten him to a world titles match on a pay-per-view. Hey, I wasn't for this match when the show ended last week, but then the promo last week by Eddie Kingston, the promo tonight by Eddie Kingston, I'm all in. I'm all in for this match, and this give it to me now. Especially being I quit, so they can do whatever they want. It's going to play up to both guys' strengths of, let's go out there and just fucking kill ourselves. I think this could be a really fun match. May not be match of the night at Full Gear, because that may go to the tag title match. That may go to what I believe is the Eliminator Finals. But this will be a good match nonetheless. And speaking of the Eliminator, we had another Eliminator match. This one was Rey Fenix, or as Justin Roberts calls him, Rey Fenix, against Penta El Zero M. Or as I say, Pentagon. Match was great, fun, excellent. We got a decent amount of time, and they really told a story throughout most of this match. But, unfortunately, a good chunk of it, I think, took place during a commercial break. Yeah, we got picture-in-picture, but still, it ain't the same. There was a scary moment at one time when Phoenix landed awkwardly on the mat after a top rope Rana. Ref Aubrey Edwards was checking on him for a little bit. Like every couple of seconds for the next minute or so. As he didn't really seem to knocked out, but a little out of it, I guess you can say. So they traded kicks at one point, and the advantage went to Phoenix. Phoenix hit a tornado off the post. Pentagon missed a chop and punched the post. After the top rope Rana, Pentagon took over. They traded a series of near falls. Pentagon then showed a little compassion for his younger brother. I guess you could say, at least this is how it seemed to me. He was going to wait for Phoenix to get to his feet before he continued the fight. But Phoenix said, "What are you waiting for, bro?" Hits him with a destroyer, pins him 1, 2, 3. Phoenix advances to take on Kenny Omega. So I guess you could say Pentagon's, compassion for his little brother cost him a shot at the world title. Nonetheless, great match between these two. Then they tell us, it's time for an update on what happened last week with Best Friends. So I think, okay, they're going to announce Best Friends versus Miro and Kip Sabian or something along those lines. Nope. Literally just a replay kind of segment of what happened last week with Trent being thrown into the video game cabinet, Kip getting pissed saying, go get him, Penelope, Miro coming down, destroying both Best Friends, and then Best Friends saying, hey, you don't do that to us. Best Friend said that they didn't mean to destroy Sabian's arcade game. They tried to compare that to what Santana and Ortiz did to Trent's mom's van. They said, hey, the difference between what we did and what, Santana and Ortiz did, they did it on purpose. We did it by accident. So we're going to get this tag match eventually, whether that's in the next couple of weeks or at the pay-per-view. Cool. There was no update. It was just, hey, this is what happened last week. Lox Marvez interviewed Colt Cabana. Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Dark Order would come up as well. They talked about their big match tonight, Colt's big match tonight. They said that, hey, they can be World Tag Team Champions soon. Colt can be the World Champion soon, and Mr. Brody could win the TNT title back, and then the Dark Order would have all the gold. Okay. I think John Silver tried to get a Brody chant started, but it really didn't work. Silver did some of his BTE shtick, and it really didn't translate well. I mean, I understood it because I watch BTE every week. But I feel like if somebody watched this and doesn't watch BTE, they might be like, who's this little fucker? Like, what is he doing here thinking he's a big-time star? Like, some of his jokes probably wouldn't have worked with a, what's the word I'm looking for, non-BTE fan base. Which it's like, if you're gonna do BTE jokes, you're gonna have to do it more. Kind of like the whole Mr. Brody's lawnmower thing. That was a BTE joke. They brought it to Dynamite, and a lot of people were like, what the fuck is this? It was the whole, they tried, the Elite tried to get a Chili's, what's it called, sponsorship. Hangman Page said, if I get the Chili sponsorship, I'm going to buy me a bunch of lawnmowers. Dark Order got the Chili sponsorship. Mr. Brody then said, I'm going to fuck with Hangman, and I'm going to go buy all those lawnmowers. And then they did it on TV, and no one understood it. So, next up, we had another Eliminator match. This one was Hangman Page versus Colt Cabana. This was a nice little back-and-forth match. They said this was, what was it that they said? In my opinion, this is one of Page's better singles matches since the split from Omega. And there was some stat, I didn't write it down, but there was a stat they said about Page here that I forgot to write down. Now it's going to bug me that I can't remember it. Page showed off some of his power spots in the match. Cabana cut him off and worked him over through a break. The timing of the commercial break on these shows are brutal because I don't know what it was. Like, usually they time the commercials better, but right as the matches were getting going this week, boom, commercial. And I'm like, yeah, we get the picture-in-picture, but we don't get commentary. At one point, Page avoids the Chicago skyline and kicked out of a Superman pin. Page teased a buckshot lariat, but Cabana stepped away. Page then hit a buckshot lariat and pinned Colt Cabana to advance to the next round. Hangman will now take on Wardlow in round 2. So we got all 4 matches completed. The next 2 matches will be Pentagon versus Kenny Omega, where if you haven't seen that match before, you're in for a treat. And we've also got Hangman versus Wardlow. A video recap, Sammy Guevara being revealed as Matt Hardy's mystery attacker. Nothing really cool there. And Team Taz came out on the stage for a promo here. Taz basically said that he and his team have 2 problems, Will Hobbs and Darby Allin. Taz said that he hasn't heard back from Hobbs as far as the offer to join Team Taz, and said he needs an answer. Taz said they talked to Tony Khan and learned that if Starks had beaten Allin weeks ago, it would have been Starks getting a TNT title shot at Full Gear and not Darby Allin. Taz said that burns his ass. Starks cut a good promo here on Allin. Starks basically said that he got screwed. He should be the one getting the TNT title shot, and then he's going to come for Darby Allin eventually. He said Darby Allin does not want to meet him in the ring again. And then Cage said, hey, who better? Who better? Next up, we got probably the worst thing I've ever seen in AEW, Late Dinner Debonair. This, to me, and a lot of you, some of you, many of you, I don't know how many of you are not going to agree with this, but I thought this was utter garbage. I thought this was downright goofy, dumb shit. Bullshit. Crappy. I would have rather watched Gilmore Girls or all my children. I would rather watch the soap operas with my grandmother than this fucking segment. MJF and Jericho were at a steak dinner. MJF couldn't say the waitress's name. It was Velma. He kept calling her Thelma. They did some stuff where it was like, I want a steak cooked well. And Jericho's like, oh, really? I want one medium. And then MJF would be like, I want one medium rare. And then Jericho said, I want one blue. And I go, who the stupid. And then all of a sudden, they're waiting for their food, and they break out in song and dance. Broke out into a Me and My Shadow song. I'm like, what the fuck is this crap? Utter garbage. They changed the lyrics to the song to rip on all the baby faces in AEW. And it was a full-blown musical with Rockette dancers and all. I'm like, what the no. They also stated that they will be holding a town hall together next week with Tony Schiavone moderating to discuss whether or not MJF should join the Inner Circle. Now, I haven't looked too much on social media as far as, reactions to this segment. But I'm just going to tell you, like I said, mine, and I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. Like, if these guys are having a match maybe at the pay-per-view, I don't want to see it. I don't. Because everything they've done with Jericho and MJF, I've been uninterested in. And that's not what it should be. These two are the best talkers this company has, or two of the best talkers this company has. So you would think they'd be out there doing blow-away segments together. They're not. I don't know whose idea this is. I can maybe see it being a Jericho idea, but it was too hokey, too campy, too silly, too dumb. Next up, we had Britt Baker versus Kylan King. Baker won rather quick. He had a flatliner, curb stomp, and the lockjaw for the victory. Get some updates on a couple matches coming up. Hangman Page versus Wardlow and Kenny Omega versus Phoenix. Ty Conti versus Abaddon. Cody versus Orange Cassidy in a TNT Championship lumberjack match. And an Inner Circle Town Hall were all announced for next week's match. So that's the stipulation that Cody said that I hear a stipulation may be added. Well, Cody, you're an EVP. What do you mean you hear? You were probably in the discussions for the fucking stipulation, you idiot. Anyways, it's a lumberjack match. Cody, Orange Cassidy. Also, it was announced for Full Gear, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion. Probably going to be something from the Hardy compound or just all around Daly's place in the TIAA Bank Stadium. Also, it was announced that Darby Allin will be challenging for the TNT Championship at Full Gear. So that means whoever wins next week between Cody and Orange Cassidy, which pretty sure is going to be Cody, will defend against Darby Allin. Also, we know about the tag title match. And then we get a vignette for Darby Allin. And lo and behold, who would appear with Darby? Freaking Steve-O. Steve-O of Jackass fame. Allin rolled down a skateboard half-pipe in a body bag. Cool. Nothing really much else happened in the vignette. Steve-O was there but didn't do anything of note. They then showed us that last night on AEW Dark, Eddie Kingston got the Bunny to rejoin her husband, the Blade. Cool. Okay. FTR then joined commentary for the upcoming match. The upcoming match was the #1 contenders match for the AEW World Tag Team title shot at Full Gear. It was the Young Bucks Private Party, Butcher and the Blade, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver. And honestly, I feel like Butcher and the Blade did nothing in this match because I can't remember anything they did after the first 4 or 5 minutes. The match itself, though, I thought was really good and went roughly, I want to say, about 15 minutes long. So the Bucks dominated the opening stretch. Nick and Cassidy had a nice little exchange. Butcher and Blade broke things up. It was then that Private Party's Private Party's time to shine as Quinn ran absolutely wild. After the first commercial break, Sammy Guevara jumped to the barricade and attacked Matt Hardy at ringside. Silver and Reynolds tried to recruit Butcher and Blade during the match. Bunny jumped on the apron and distracted them, and Butcher and Blade remained in control. Silver and Reynolds had their opportunity in the spotlight as Silver ran around the entire ringside area delivering strikes. Quinn and Cassidy hit silly string on Reynolds. I think this was when Butcher and Blade tried to hit their finisher on Cassidy, and then I saw nothing from them. At one point, it came down to the Bucks versus Private Party. Nick Jackson pulled John Silver off the apron because I think it was Cassidy tried to tag out. Nick then teased a Meltzer driver on Cassidy. Quinn pulled him off the apron. Same finish that we saw from their match on the first episode of Dynamite. Cassidy rolled up Matt, but Matt kicked out. Instead, Matt reversed it into a cradle and pinned Cassidy to pick up the victory and earn a shot at the tag team champions FTR. The match is over, and FTR is like, okay, cool. We got the Young Bucks, the full gear. So they go down to the ring. They got beers. They want to celebrate. Of course, Bucks don't drink. Matt and Nick slap the beers away. A masked man would then jump into the ring and attack the Bucks with a chair. And I go, okay, is it Shawn Spears? Is it Brandon Cutler? You'd only get that if you watch BTE. And this guy in the ring is moving well, jumping around, came off the middle turnbuckle. They did a spike pile driver to Nick Jackson. They pulmonized the leg of Matt Jackson with a chair. And then it's revealed that it's Tully Blanchard. And I go, holy fuck, Tully can still move. We've seen Tully not really that mobile in stuff with Shawn Spears about a year ago. But then we see him here tonight. He's jumping off the ropes, running around in the ring, looking like he's 20, 30 years younger. I don't know if he's been doing that DDP yoga or something, but good job, Tully Blanchard. I would have never thought. I would have never thought that's who that was. Referees then ran in and stopped our FTR and Tully Blanchard from doing any more damage to the Bucks. And there you go. That was AEW Dynamite. Our Twitch poll has subsided as well. What did you guys think of AEW Dynamite? 80% of you said you liked it. 13% said you didn't like it. And 7% said you did like AEW Dynamite. With that, we've also got NXT on the USA Network. Let's throw up our poll to see what you guys thought of NXT. What did you think of tonight's NXT? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, so we got NXT on the USA Network. And the show kicked off with a three-way triple threat match. Kushida, Tommaso Ciampa, Velveteen Dream. And I was a little surprised with the finish of this match and who actually won. Not with who won, but who he pinned. So Ciampa executed a double DDT to plant both Kushida and Dream early. Ciampa was in firm control until Kushida got a 2 count with a sunset flip. Dream cut off Kushida, and he attacked both Kushida and Ciampa. However, Dream instead took a big bump after a forearm by Ciampa, and Dream was wearing a cast on his arm as well, which is weird. The pace quickened into a great series of sequences, and then the show cut to commercial. Kushida was running wild when they returned from the break. Kushida applied an armbar on Dream at ringside, targeting the hand that was in the cast. Ciampa then stomped on both of them to break the hold. Excuse me. At one point, Ciampa went to argue with the referee after a near fall, but he ate a super kick from Dream. Kushida jumped in to break up a pin. Kushida and Ciampa teamed up to beat up Dream, and they began to fight each other. Kushida exploded into a series of several flip dives over the top to both men. Ciampa then cut him off with a Widow's Bell, but the pin was broken up by Dream. Closing minutes of the match were really, really good, actually. The action was back and forth. Ciampa with an O'Connor roll on Kushida, and Kushida kicked out. Dream hit Ciampa with the cast, but Ciampa fell backwards into a German suplex from Kushida, holding on to the bridge, and Kushida pinned Ciampa. Yeah, he pinned Ciampa to win the match. I thought if Kushida would have won, he would have pinned Dream. I thought either way, Dream was going to take the pin probably. No. Ciampa took the pin. Very interesting move there by WWE, saying, hey, Ciampa's one of our bigger stars, but we're going to let Kushida get a victory over him. Cool. I really like that. Undisputed Era cut a promo backstage. Adam Cole was not there live. He was there via a tablet. Basically said that they were going to win the tag team titles later on tonight. Wade Barrett then challenged Vic Joseph to a Halloween costume contest next week at Halloween Havoc. A video package then hyped up Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Gonzalez for next week's Halloween Havoc. And then Got Ember Moon in singles action against Jessie Kamea. Basically an Ember Moon showcase. Jessie got a little bit of offense early on. She even got a 2 count at one point, but Moon turned up the intensity, leading to a standing moonsault for a near fall. Moon then applied a crossface. She also applied an ankle lock. Kamea with a counter to break the hold, and Kamea made a comeback. Springboard flying elbow netted Kamea for a near fall. Moon came off the top with a flying code breaker. Moon then tied Kamea up in a new submission hold. I don't know if there's a name for it yet, and Kamea tapped out. They made reference to saying, hey, Ember Moon doesn't have to fly off the top rope. She can get you in a number of different ways now. You remember, she had that eclipse where she would jump off the top rope as her finish. But now, she's upped her game, and now she's a submission girl. Well, that was cool. After the match, she was attacked by Dakota Kai. Kai laid her out with a kick and said, you're not going to make a name off of me with your comeback, or something along those lines. All of a sudden, as Dakota Kai is leaving the ringside area, they alert us on commentary, something has gone down in the back. There's a commotion. We need to send you now. We learned that, well, Bobby Fish has been attacked. His knee that he's had problems on in the past was hurt. They asked him, hey, did you see who did this? He goes, I have no clue. It was a hit from behind. Basically, Fish was hurt so bad that he had to pull out of the tag team title match. We then learned that Kyle O'Reilly would take his spot with Roderick Strong later on in the main event. We then got Bronson Reed versus Austin Theory 2 times. Reed pinned Theory pretty quickly in both of these matches. Basically, Reed destroyed Austin Theory. Austin said, I ain't going nowhere. I want this again. Let's do it again. I'm going to do better this time. Bronson Reed said, okay, ran in and then destroyed him again. Cool. We then go to the back. Mackenzie Mitchell's got an interview going with both Xia Li and Casey Catanzaro. Basically, she said, Casey, you've agreed to face Xia tonight. Because Xia said that she needs competition. She went to William Regal, asked for this match, and you stepped up, but why? She goes, Xia's always been a good friend to me. Yeah, we've had our differences, but if she wants competition, then I'll be the one to give it to her. And Mackenzie goes, well, Xia, why do you need this match so bad? And she's just like, this match tonight's important. I need this match. I need to win. It's an important match to me. It may be the most important match in my career. And I go, but why? Boa gave her some papers a few weeks back, and now all of a sudden she has to compete. She has to win. My first thought was, what? If you don't win your next match, you go back to China? This makes no sense. There's no reason. Tell us why it's important for her to have a match tonight. Why she needs to win tonight. And then they do that and make it seem like that there's some real reason for all this. And there isn't. Because, spoiler alert, she lost. And then got killed afterwards. So, during commercial break, they said Austin Theory went to his car outside of the Performance Center and basically said, I quit NXT. He threw his bag in an SUV and he sped away. I don't know what that means. Coming back to the main roster? Who the hell knows? We had a 6-man tag team match. This was a fun match. Legado del Fantasma. It was NXT Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar, Raul Mendoza, and Joaquin Wilde against the team of Isaiah Swerve Scott, Ashanti the Adonis, and Jake Atlas. Great action in this match. I thought this match was really fun, like I stated. Legado del Fantasma ducked out of the ring early, like they were Jay White or Kenta in G1. Because those two guys did a lot. Matches would start, and they'd slide out and go, hold on, I need to catch my breath. I need a little time to myself. They did this. The babyface trio went after the heels, and a brawl erupted on the floor. Babyfaces cleaned house as the action returned to the ring. Atlas hit a Three Amigos tribute. Atlas kept shining with some cool lucha moves. There was one where he ran across the announce table, jumped onto, I think it was Raul Mendoza, and did like a swinging DDT type thing. It was really cool to see. Really cool. Swerve hit a corkscrew flip dive off the top of the floor at one point as well. The show cuts commercial with the baby faces standing tall. The heels were in control when we returned, and they were working over Adonis. A dropkick created some separation, and Adonis was able to tag out. Swerve at one point got a near fall on Mendoza off of I think it was a Spanish fly spot. Moments later, Mendoza countered to send Adonis colliding into Swerve. Escobar sailed through the ropes with the tope. Atlas caught Escobar with a cartwheel DDT. Meanwhile, Mendoza and Wild double-teamed Adonis. Wild then covered Adonis and picked up the victory. So again, Isaiah Scott gets beaten by the champ. If he gets another goddamn title shot for that cruiserweight title, I don't know what to say. He shouldn't, because he's lost his opportunities. He keeps losing in non-title matches. So it's just like, no, it would make no sense if he got another title shot. Then we get the Garganos from their house. They're basically trying to simulate what type of match they may get with a spin the wheel, make a deal. They had a wheel of their own made. LeRae wanting to practice the spin to try and get a good spin for their match. I thought this was great. Johnny is amazing. There may not be a better heel, really, in WWE than Johnny Gargano as far as his comedic timing goes. So Johnny spun the wheel and he got buried alive. And he goes, oh, crap, I'm going to die. I'm going to get buried alive. And Candice goes, hold on. Let me spin the wheel. She spins the wheel. Took her street fight. She goes, oh, I might win the title. Io, watch out. I'm undefeated in street fights. And Johnny goes, all right. Let me try this one more time. Let me do this again. He spins the wheel hard. And it spins. Casket match. Johnny goes, oh no. Spirits want me dead. They want me to die. He gets up and he's just like freaked out. And Candice is like, street fight, okay. And he's just like, screw this wheel. I may not survive. I may not come back alive. Next up, we had Ever Rise against Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. Match ended, well, in a DQ. Ever Rise got the heel on Maverick as they worked him over for a few minutes. Dane, after a hot tag, mauled Ever Rise. Parker with the chop block on Dane, and then Dane was trapped in a half crab. Maverick fired up after being taunted by Martel at ringside. He grabbed a steel chair and used it to hit Parker. That caused a DQ, and Maverick ran off Ever Rise swinging the chair. And Killian Dane actually looked happy that Drake kind of went into business for himself. He screamed that was awesome, how Maverick used the chair to hit Ever Rise. It looks like they're finally slowly becoming friends. Their wacky team theme started playing, and I'm like, okay, that's just a little too much. Killian Dane didn't like the theme song and left the ring. The show then cut to the back. Seemed like a TNA spot. We're like, to the back! Roderick Strong was laid out. O'Reilly was also laid out. No, Roderick Strong was laid out. O'Reilly then left to go check on his friends at the hospital. So it's like, who's at the hospital? Roddy's there. Did Bobby have to go to the hospital? Adam's at home. Okay. All of a sudden, we learned that, well, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch will now replace the Undisputed Era in the tag team title match in our main event. And I'm like, oh, so they're turning heel, and they attacked them. Sort of, maybe. Looking at Casey Catanzaro versus Xia Li. Catanzaro cradled Lee early for a flash pin in a very short match. That was it. An angry Lee attacked Catanzaro after the match. Kaden Carter came down to the ring, and Lee attacked her too. Then, because WWE just doesn't like to let anybody look good, you gotta get beat, then beat up the person that beat you, and then get your ass beat again. It's like Keith Lee and Braun Strowman all over again. Because then, okay, so Xia Li gets beat. She gets pissed off, takes out Casey. Then Kaden Carter tries to come down. She takes off Kaden Carter. And I go, okay, she lost quick, but she gets to look good in taking out two women. You would think. But it's WWE. And out would come Raquel Gonzalez to just maul, destroy, annihilate Xia Li. Gonzalez power slammed Catanzaro. and she threw her into Carter. Gonzalez gave Carter a choke slam, and then she cut a promo basically threatening Rhea Ripley in their match next week. And I'm like, who did this put over? Maybe Raquel Gonzalez, but that's about it. Cameron Grimes was being interviewed backstage about his match next week. He was all cocky until he found out, you're going to face Dexter Lumis next week at Halloween Havoc. And he goes, I assumed after what I did. She goes, but General Manager William Regal said it's a Haunted House of Terror match. And he goes, are you sure about that? I know Regal's got an accent and he's sometimes hard to hear. I loved that line. I laughed out loud when he said, I know Regal's got an accent and sometimes hard to hear. All of a sudden, Dexter Lumis appeared in a window. And they were like, no, the Haunted House of Terror. Grimes was scared, but he wouldn't admit it. Then we got a weird segment here. It was a live Timothy Thatcher segment. Here's his Thatch Can Wrestling. He had his student, and this week it was, making his NXT television debut, Anthony Guarini, who Thatcher kept calling Andrew. He stretched him a little bit, but Guarini wasn't having any of it. Guarini grew angry after Thatcher tortured him with the hold. Thatcher said that this is how you learn. You learn by getting put in the holds. On with the seminar where, Guarini shot on Thatcher and took him down with a double leg. Smirking at him, Thatcher almost, was happy for this. He invited the referee to come down to the ring. Thatcher then dropped him with a cheap forearm shot. The bell rang, and, the match was on. Thatcher punished Anthony Guarini, or Andrew, the crowd was chanting, Andrew, 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 and then, he submitted to a half crab. Thatcher, after the match, kicked him out of the ring, said, class dismissed. Cool. Okay. He beat up a guy that 98% of the people watching tonight probably didn't even know who he was. A vignette hyped up Johnny Gargano challenging for the North American title next week, and then we get our main event. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan challenging Breezango for the NXT Championship, Tag Team Championships. They told us a couple of times in this match that there's history between Oni Lorcan and Breezango, as Breezango helped get Oni Lorcan his job here in WWE. Breezango caught Lorcan and Burch with stereo super kicks early. Fandango went to the top turnbuckle, and a masked man wearing a silver face covering, who apparently was hiding under the ring, got involved to shove Fandango off the top rope. And I go, Retribution to NXT after getting destroyed on Raw? Who's this Retribution guy? Breeze then walked into a low blow from Burch. Fandango was then given an assisted draping DDT, and Burch covered Breeze for the pin to become the new NXT World Tag Team Champions. The masked man that gets in the middle of the ring raises up the hands of the new tag champs, and they're looking at him like, "You gonna reveal yourself? Let's go. Who is it?" Slowly pulls off the hood and the face covering, and it's none other than Pat fucking McAfee. Pat McAfee is the one that orchestrated all this to take out the Undisputed Era. It now makes sense. I was completely surprised by this. I bet you most people were surprised by this. Good on WWE for doing something surprising. For doing something that I can't say nobody, because maybe there was somebody out there that said maybe Pat McAfee was involved with Adam Cole getting attacked. I don't know. But kudos. McAfee is back. He's still got a vengeance with the Undisputed Era, and now he's got himself a little group with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, the new tag team champions. Not a bad little move there. I actually enjoyed that move. Pat McAfee then basically said, "We are undisputed," as he posed with his new boys in the middle of the ring, and the show went off the air. I liked that. It was different, unexpected, and you don't get a lot of surprise moments in WWE nowadays. Also, the Twitch poll has subsided. What did you guys think of NXT? 80% of you said it was just all right. 10% said you didn't like it, and 10% said, I did like it. Also, remember, guys, you can be part of tonight's show. All you got to do is text in to 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341. Person says, who do you see being the next world title challenger? Personally, I hope Wardlow wins. No. After tonight, it's Kenny Omega. Hands down, bar none. Ain't even no way to even, what's the word I'm looking for, argue that or debate it. The finals of the tournament are going to come down to Kenny and Hangman, and Kenny's going to win. After that freaking intro tonight with all of his PWI Wrestler of the Year, Sports Illustrated Wrestler of the Year, the only man to have more than 5-star matches and the greatest tag match and all that stuff that he said. Okay. Cool. And this person says, I've been thinking about the AJ Styles thing, and what if Drew retains yet again, and AJ becomes the next threat to Drew's title reign, or they challenge for the tag titles? So you're talking about AJ and Omogben? Because AJ said, hey, I wouldn't mind having the big guy help me win tag titles, the only title I haven't won yet. He said that on his Twitch stream. But AJ challenging Drew, it'd be something new. I wouldn't be opposed. I really wouldn't be opposed. I know that they've got Sheamus earmarked for that spot if Drew retains. So we'll see. There says, any news on Ridge Holland's injury? Haven't heard anything since, he was injured. I've asked about it. And I just get the, there's no update. Like, I asked people about, hey, any update on Ridge Holland? How long is Ridge Holland going to be out? Is he going to be back anytime soon? And I get I don't know. There's really no update. I mean, he injured both of his legs. His knee on one leg and his ankle on the other. Cool. Finally, this next one says, do you think Kenny turns heel then? 100%. They ain't teasing the cleaner for nothing, bro. They ain't teasing the cleaner for nothing. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. Remember, if you missed any of this live stream or any of our previous live streams here on Twitch, you can check those out at youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, follow us on social media, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Search for us on Instagram, Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. So with that, guys, have a great night. I'll see you back here Friday for SmackDown. Remember, SmackDown on FS1, and we'll see you next time.